like that one. Yay! So a while ago I posted a short called Cool Way to Create Your Own Lines. It was pretty well received. However, it seemed that some of the comments wanted a more in-depth process. So in this video, we'll dive right into that. First, let me preface it with a little story. When I was at Frost, I was at a party, and there was a really amazing piano player named Connor Rohrer. At this party, I just approached him and I was like, dude, how? Literally how? How do you do it? Very, very humble guy. And he told me that he spends a lot of time just writing solos out. And since then, it's been such a prevailing concept. There's a lot of great players that write out solos as practice or just like etudes for themselves. Essentially, writing is improvisation slowed down. Because if you've transcribed a lot and you listen to a lot of jazz, essentially you have all this information in your head. But the information is just kind of dormant, floating around. And oftentimes when we're actually improvising, what comes out is what is most readily available. But when you write, you basically have an infinite amount of chance to edit and revise and see what's going on, which presents the opportunity to take all those random ideas and crystallize them into clear ideas. It's all connected with each other. It can only benefit you. And there's just something really special about creating a line that's yours and exercising your own vocabulary. So in this video, I'm gonna write 3 lines in 3 different ways. The first way, I'll do the same way as I did in the short. We're just gonna find a chord progression, sing what comes to my head, write it down, and then fill in between, see what kind of cool stuff we can create from it. Let's get the piano. Yes, sir. Okay, let's start very basic with the 2-5-1. Okay, it would be one thing to just automatically do the first thing I hear in my head, but I think that could be kind of like cheating because I might have lines I've already have kind of predisposed in my head. So what can help is if I just select some random interval, literally just 2 notes, and then see what does my brain hear after that. La, ooh, so da, ooh, da. Wow. Okay, for whatever reason, that is what my brain led to. I don't know why. Who knows? There's probably a trillion reasons why. But I am what I am. You probably heard something else. That's what I heard, you know? And this is a special process. It's just a way to get to know yourself. I did sing a flat 9, so I'm going to modify the upper structure of that 5 chord. Da, woo, da, woo. Cool. So there is our skeleton. One of the best teachers I've ever had was a man named Dave Pollock. All this stuff I'm talking about, he knows and way more. He just released the Saxophone Success Community. In this, you'll find a very supportive community of like-minded players, and you'll have access to personal coachings with Dave Pollock, special guest monthly masterclasses, and the ability to receive personal feedback on your playing. Now, he's offering all this for an absurdly low price. But the time that you're watching this video, you only have 2 days to sign up. His registration closes after August 4th. My affiliate link in this community is found in the description below. Hope to see you there. I'm gonna go ahead and get my iPad out. Alrighty, so I'm on the app called Good Notes. Gonna start a new page here. So I'm just gonna write what I just played. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so now the fun part. This is where things get ambiguous. We can literally come up with any objective that we want. We can say, let's make it very intervallic. We can say, let's make it very rhythmic. I don't know. So the objective I'm gonna come up with myself is, how about make it all 1/8 notes and just make it interesting. When I think interesting, I think not too predictable. Now, if it's not predictable at all, then it's probably just random. We don't wanna make it random. Just make it interesting. Just play it till my ear is like, huh. So essentially I have my note on beat 1 and beat 3. So I'm literally just gonna fiddle around till I just hear something that sounds cool to my ear. What 3 notes can I put in between that E and that A? That worked, but I don't know. It sounds a little I'm hearing something that should sound cooler than that. Something about the fourths makes me want some fourths and fifths sounds in there. Okay. There's a neutrality that comes with the sounds of fourths and fifths that I really like in a minor 7 chord. Check that out. So right here, we have a 5th interval, and then right here, we have another 5th interval. And there's just something uniform, I guess, to my ear about having that A recycled in the line, sort of like a precursor. Nice little neutral sound. I like that. Okay. So it looks like we return back to the F sharp, and then I introduce this new note and chromatically walk my way down to the note that we wrote here. Cool. Okay, so even just hearing that E, I'm hearing a Braxton Cook line that I've heard. Ah. And I've also heard Alex Hahn play that. So all these ideas are just floating around in our heads at all times, just from the transcriptions we've done. And this is just a cool way to compile them all together, right? Remember that animation I made? So for whatever reason, I liked that I had some interval stuff going on, and then out of nowhere, very horizontal. Cool, I like that one. Alrighty, so that's just one of infinite amount of ways to create lines. Another really good way to create your own lines is to literally record yourself over some sort of backing track and sing the first thing that comes to mind. But the pitches don't need to be accurate at all through your singing. Just the gist, or does it go up or down? Does something accent here? Is there a triplet here? And then write some notes to it right after. So let's go ahead and try it. So here's my phone here, and then I'm going to use my iPad for the backing track. So what is a random tune that we can do? Let's do Cherokee. Let's do it over that first ending. All right, so we're gonna, hey, hey. Okay, so we're gonna start at this G6 here. Alrighty, I actually find this one to be probably the most difficult because you're so confined within the rhythm that you have set, but that resistance, that creates that challenge. It trains you, it molds you. The first chord is that A minor 7. Okay, so that sounds like I'm outlining the upper structure of the third. If you don't know the upper structure, I did a whole video tutorial on it right here. Anyway. Or you could do it from the root. It'll sound better on that third. Let's do it from the third. So that's the line I already played. I play that line several times. It just feels so good in the fingers, I just can't get away from it. Ah. Alrighty, excellent. Cool. So we took that very low resolution idea and we crystallized it into a very concrete, so concrete you literally see it in my glorious handwriting. Not glorious at all. I know it's pretty bad. Okay. Let's do a third one. So the third one I have in mind, I actually don't have one in mind at all. Because look man, the spirit of jazz is creation. There will never be an all-encompassing method that is the way to do it all. Because this is a creative art. There's no boundary. So what I'm going to do is literally come up with something. How should I make another line? Okay, how about I take a rhythmic structure and a melodic shape, keep it consistent, and have some wide intervals in there, and voice lead them all. Let's just hear how that sounds. So what's a tune with some nice changes in there? 4 and 6. There's a part in 4 and 6 that's got some moving chords. Okay, so as you heard it there, the first bar's chords are diatonic to G major. So let's take like a cool sort of G major shape. Let's just find one. What rhythmic shape? Okay. I like that one. I like that. I don't know why I like it. I just do. I'm just following my ear. My ear knows why, but I don't. So we're gonna write it down and try to figure out why. Look at that, we got all these giant intervals and then out of nowhere, just a diatonic second. So what's going on here? We have the sound of a 6, diatonic 6, and then it goes down the diatonic 5th, and then it goes up a 4th, and then it goes all the way down to 6 again. 6, 5, 4, 6. Maybe that's the pattern we're hearing? I don't know, there's something wickedly mysterious about it. I like it. And maybe one day someone will publish a dissertation and they're like, this is the super Euclidean million and shilling shape that was discovered by Pythagoras. Well, I don't know. And if someone finds that would be cool. I'll read it. But, you know, all the answers is in there already. Anyway, now the challenge is going to be the voice lead, that same structure through here, a G7 and a C dominant 7. So the intervallic structure doesn't have to be exactly the same. I just want the notes to be close. Okay, so I like that. That E here is going to go up to an F. This C here is going to go down to a B flat. Okay, so I do like that this is like an anticipatory guide tone of this D7, so let's keep that tradition going. Our next chord will be a C7, and so the guide tone of that will be an E. And right here we touch the 6. Let's do it again. Let's keep that uniform. Ah! And look at that. Root 7th, root 7th. Cool. But we got some variation. It's not like we just copied and pasted on Sibelius and then we pressed the down arrow. Excellent. So all of a sudden my ears really wants to I just want to start on the C sharp. I feel like the line won't sound good if I just keep staying. It's going to just sound like a stupid exercise, right? You know, like now it's ready for a little bit of variation. So let's go ahead and shift that interval. Let's start on the C sharp. Okay, so I didn't even pay attention to the voice leading at all. For whatever reason, my ear is really leaning towards that sound. So screw everything, all that premise I just said. I want to stick to that just because I just like what that was. Just like out of nowhere, now we're just sticking to just 3 notes. I think I like it. Ah. Okay, so naturally, let's just make that go down at chromatic. The first 2 measures had some variation in the voice leading. The next 2 measures, they're identical. There's one's just transposed directly down a half step. What keeps it all together is that rhythmic concept that just stays. So now we have a pretty cool line. Excellent. Cool, so like if I worked any of these lines into my own playing and then it naturally, authentically came out on stage or some variation, I wouldn't feel the fraudulentness of if someone's like, wait a second, he got that from that one solo. You thief! You thief! You know, I'd be happy to plagiarize my own content. And because all these are bits and pieces of transcriptions I've long forgotten, it doesn't really feel like I've stolen anything. It just feels like I used a language to create my own original thoughts. I really like this method, and it's really fun. Like imagine you have a whole bank. Imagine you just have pages of lines you wrote yourself. And imagine you do this and see your stuff from 10 years ago. And then see your stuff now. I bet you will have grown so much. You know, it just feels nice to create your own stuff. You know, it doesn't feel good forever to just take other people's lines. I mean, you gotta do that. You have to do that. Because if you don't, you know, that's like me saying, I've never listened to anyone, you know? I've never listened to anyone. You know, I'm just pure original. So check me out. You know, I'm expecting an applause, like, yeah, so innovative, yeah, wow. But that's not quite how it works, right? You need 1 foot in the tradition and then 1 foot in the future. I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling now. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for 190,000 subscribers. I can't. Have a good day. Dude. One of the best teachers I've ever had.